have like a Skype chat from my very, very first online D&D game from like the beginning of the apocalypse. And like the last time we played, I sent them a message going, "Oh, I missed this game." And I guess it didn't send until tonight. And so now they're all talking about it, and I don't have the heart to tell them that, like, I mean, I still missed the game, but like I wanted to talk about it, like 2 weeks ago.
You should say, like, I sent this 2 weeks ago.
But no, it's timestamped as tonight.
But like, tell them you sent it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you don't miss it. I said this 2 weeks ago. I don't miss it anymore.
I'm so over it now.
Y'all are losers.
That was so 2 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
I'm like not even into this Dungeons and Dragons thing anymore.
This is actually from this is my Pathfinder group. So
you still
I
do
do
that?
want to tell you that I one-shotted a fucking gargoyle on Pathfinder.
Nice.
Yes.
With my double shield build. She
You're
gets
Captain
5
America.
No, she's double spike shield. She's the Iron Maiden. Because I just
Dark Souls character.
Yeah. But she gets 5 hits and then they hasted me, so
Ooh.
it was gross.
It's Pathfinder, so haste is broken.
Haste is real broken, and
Yeah.
we have a haste wand down. We're like, why haven't we been using this?
Did you know that we were doing haste in whatchamacallit wrong and Starfinder 100% wrong?
Oh no.
I don't imagine we were. What were we doing wrong with it?
You don't get double. It's not Pathfinder haste. You don't get double attacks. You can just move and do full round action. That's all that haste is in Starfinder.
Oh, it's gross.
Yeah, so that's why the game that's why we broke the game.
I mean, Starfinder is hard.
Yeah.
I feel like
even
it's
with
more.
that,
It's weighted against players already.
Yeah.
As long as you pretend like you can't fight with your ships, Starfinder is lots of fun. Like, which I know
that was my favorite part. We were actually good at that.
Yeah. Maybe it's just us, but I thought we did it.
We'll do that. I want just like an all Starfinder space battle in the ship.
All space ship. Same.
Well, see, when I've played Starfinder, it's the ship battles that my players and I struggle with. But it's like the regular gameplay is fantastic. I've done a bunch of one-shots in it, and I love it.
We actually did really well with this ship.
Yeah, it took us a while, but once we got it, it was like, oh, this is
good. Oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
That reminds me, Jim
I know
supposed
that
to
you were going to get
let me-
reminded as soon as you thought of that.
As soon as you said Starfinder, Jim was gonna let me take over and guest host a one-shot for him.
Aww.
And it's never happened.
I totally
Sad
have. Because I'm going to totally go through my list real quick and find that lobby that I made for you and say, there you go. It's yours now. You can do with it what you want. So
I've found so many people to do this one shot with me 3 different times.
Is it the Skittermander one?
Yes, it is.
I've never played that one.
Skittermanders are adorable.
Actually, there's I think I have 3 or 4 one shots in that Skittermander world.
I want
Skittermander.
He's like Stitch, but he's a playable race in Starfinder.
I want to play a Stitch.
And then when they evolve into these scary Stridermander things, and they're like giant proboscis from the belly, all 4 crawler stiltwalker things that are terrifying.
I want to play one of those.
I want to be a Stridermander.
I want to play a Lovecraftian monster thing.
Or you just play the Star Wars version, which is totally everybody's playing Jawas.
Or you could let me do it, and I have willing people in this room right here, right now.
Space Goblin.
Obviously.
Well, see, in Facebook, I just totally sent you the link from the lobby that I made back in Oh My God.
When we first started talking about it?
Let's just all be Space Goblins.
I like
I'm like,
Space
how
Goblins.
far did I get? Because I was totally looking on the Trove for the adventure, and the Trove totally got knocked off the internet when that happened.
The eye is still out if you know where that is.
I have. Oh well, and this Gold
But,
20 doesn't let me take my things, does it?
The eye only does games that are no longer published, which to me is reasonable.
Well, no, I legitimately purchased the Skidamander and the 3 or 4 little ones.
The
There's more than
RPG,
one?
the free RPG day adventures, which stores ended
Yeah.
up charging people for, which I thought was lame.
That's shitty.
I've bought the whole Pathfinder from Humble Bundle at some point. I've bought like their things like twice.
Oh, we just did the 90 book bundle for $30.
Yeah.
I did that one as well. That comes with the Armory actual hard copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did that too. As much as I swore I was never gonna get. Oh, there's Megan. And I'm going to promote Megan to GM, so she has all the power and control in that lobby.
Look at what he named it. It makes me happy.
None of us can see it, Megan.
Well, if
Ah.
you're in the
Like,
Twitch, I'm totally have it
I
up
just
on the
sent you a
Twitch
picture.
screen, but, you know, she now has
That's-
GM authority. in
I
the
don't know
lobby.
anything that's going
I'm
on.
too
so
old for that technology, Jim.
Yeah.
For me to take a picture?
I don't know what's happening right now.
I'm not computer literate very well.
So
I
you guys
sent it
ready? As I totally
Yeah.
distracted, Megan for a while. So as you guys crested the Whispering Canyons, the terrifying place that it was, as the morning sun is addressing, you got face on as someone is sending a cute message in Skype. You guys look back and you notice that there's no sign of Happus. But our ranger says we must continue on and get out of the hills before it gets too late in the afternoon. Least we be stuck on the roads during the night, right? This totally sounds like what she talks like.
Do.
We must leave right
As
now.
you guys are heading down to the village of Mourners Shire, ominously named. You could probably
Sounds
ask
like
the ranger
Worcestershire.
why.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
That's exactly what I said.
So you guys are heading down to the town. You see a couple small fires going. You see shutters, heavy duty window shutters still latched shut, even though it's like 9 o'clock in the morning and there should be crazy activity in town. There seems to be very little activity except for the occasional cow mooing and chicken clucking. But you clearly see little cooking fires going, so you know the place is not like, massacred or anything.
What are we expecting up ahead so I can plan my spells accordingly?
Doom!
I didn't ask what's in your pants. I want to know what the cities are like.
She has brought you the
That
red
is
burning
chaos
doom.
in my pants. That is chaos in my pants. Not doom.
Today, let's roll
I'm
the
one with
random
doom in my
thing.
pants.
Today I wear my doom pants. So for our druid and ranger, they clearly remember this place because they totally walked through it. It's a town full of very shy people who are very superstitious because vampire attacks are not unknown of in this town, but they don't happen on a regular basis. The town of Mourners Shire has a really weird thing that people killed in town come back 24 hours later as a spirit that slowly fades away over a few days.
Is it a good spirit?
Maybe. As good as they were
Well,
in
we were
life,
here
they'll be as
before.
a
We should know.
spirits. As good as they were in life, that's how good they are as the spirits.
That I don't like. Which Twigsy am I today?
I'm sure there's been some
What Twigsy am I today?
I'm sure there's been some bad confrontations where somebody dies and then comes back as a ghost and says, "You assholes, let me die."
What? Who was? Couldn't be.
We don't let people die. We kill them.
We tried very hard to keep people alive in the past.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well, though.
No. So now we just let them die. Or we don't let them die. We kill them. We
So
kill them
is
before they
this
die.
anything that our ranger or druid want to clue the group in on as you guys are heading towards this town?
I mean,
I don't remember this place. I have no memory.
Neither do I. I'm going to be honest.
Well, this is memory from when you fictionally outside of game came through this town to get to the church to start the adventure.
Oh yes, that helps.
I will invert any memory in character that I have of this town to the rest of my party, because Natalia does not remember Jack.
Well, Talia, like I'm saying, you in real life you never have been here, but your
Oh, I
characters
never.
have.
Yes.
So you can lie.
You are not
Lie through
forced
your
to
teeth,
recall
Talia.
something that you never experienced. I'm a
Okay.
jerk. I'm not that big of a jerk.
Okay. So our characters relay everything that we experienced of this town.
Gross.
And what was it? I mean, you tell me what
Yeah.
you experienced. You can't just say you relayed everything because we don't know what you're relaying.
Lie.
I mean, isn't the whole world like this though?
The whole world sucks, but this town has a very bad reputation that every mortal who dies comes back as a ghost 24 hours later.
This house is so this town is more suck than the rest of the world.
It's got some weird suck thing where people's spirits linger and then pop up and then fade away over 7 days.
Like the
So
ring.
basically,
Ooh.
like the ring. Which is,
7
so
days.
I do have a question, Jim.
Okay, I can
Like,
barely
are
hear you, by
these-
the way.
Huh?
You
What was
sound
that?
very
You're
distant
real
and
far
quiet.
away.
Is this better?
That is much
Yes.
better.
Sorry, I was eating dinner, so I had my mic up, so you guys didn't hear me not nomming on hot dogs. So
Oh, let's go to BK's.
they were Costco hot dogs. Anyways, the ghosts that linger here, are they sentient ghosts?
They are the spirits of the people who have died themselves. So there's no manipulation. It's if they're a sad, nice person, they can talk with their loved ones for a week or so until they fade off into the ether.
Okay.
Or if they're an evil wife abusing asshole, the ghost comes back as an evil wife abusing specter.
Are
So
there
you
like
you could have a conversation with the ghosts. Is
You
what
can try to have a conversation with the ghost. Yep.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying. So they are, okay. So I relay that to everyone that people who die here, they stay ghosts for 7 days, is what you said, Jim. And then they
for
fade
roughly a
off?
week. They stronger spirits stay longer. Weaker spirits go quicker.
Okay, so
are they like on any kind of like mineral water? Like is this Eureka Springs we're dealing with? What's going on?
You guys don't know. Obviously,
don't
you
know
you
why.
didn't stick around long enough to figure anything like that out. You guys were on a
don't
mission.
know why this is why the way it is. It's just the way it is. But anybody who dies here, their ghost sticks around for about 7 days or so, depending on how strong. I guess maybe the person was in life. I don't know.
Can
We
our
didn't stay
cleric
long enough
consecrate
to
the area for the town?
The cleric would take a huge, monumental effort to consecrate an entire town.
What
I
about
don't
like
know
a
if we-
safe
I don't know if
zone?
we don't want to waste our time with that, honestly.
What if we do like a Silent Hill church for the people in the towns
Nice.
so they can just run in?
Conveniently, yes, the town does have a church. However, you guys kind of remember that nobody was ever using it last time you were here. But you didn't
I'm
stick around
sorry.
long enough to figure that out.
I'm
Yeah, we
sorry.
didn't
there's
have a cleric
church
of
for me
Freya
to
with
take
us.
Over? You guys, let me take over the church.
One church at a time.
Yes.
We
Church of
can go
Esme.
check out the church, but I do remember people kind of didn't really use it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Maybe
'Cause
they're
this
praying
was
to the wrong god.
literally just passing through.
What can I be reminded how we got to this town?
You were sent on a mission by the Church of Light to go head across
Okay,
up north.
Speed up a little bit. Speed up a little bit.
You found magic druid circles instead of taking a 3-month
That's-
voyage that would have leveled you up to level 5 instead of 3. You guys zipped and bypassed most of the mission. You went through the Whispering Canyons that
Wait,
were
we
full.
lost 2 levels doing that?
Yeah, you totally could have went the long way and fought some vampire pirates and some,
Totally.
ghost
Also,
pirates. There's a whole thing
I
to
thought
go
we
through
were
the harbor.
level 4.
Well, you would have
Are we
been
only
2
level-
levels higher.
No, we're only level 3 though.
No, you're
we're
level 4 now.
5.
Because
Oh, we're
I've been
level 4?
casting 3rd level spells because I thought we were 4.
I hope we're 4 because I'm 4.
That's me too.
Why did I think we're level 5? What the fuck, guys?
No, I thought we were level 4.
You guys are level 4, yes, because you went through the canyon and leveled up, remember?
Oh, so we're level 4 now.
Yes,
but
you are
we
now
weren't
level
last
4.
session. Oh, I see.
Wait.
On the night
I'm
that you slept in
lost.
the canyon, you guys leveled up, remember?
No.
When you
I say
cleared that
I'm
canyon
level
area
4.
and put that really safe spot to put the wagon with the waterfall and all that
I don't think you
prettiness.
told us we leveled up, Jim.
Yeah, because I joined as level
Well,
4.
Yeah, I'm level 4. I've already been level 4.
Well,
if we're
fuck.
leveled up, we get to be level 5.
What level should we be in? Let's all address it accordingly.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
well, what level are each of you now?
4.
4.
4. It says 4 on my sheet, so I'm going to say I fixed
I
it.
was gonna say there's one more person that has to answer the question.
That's all, yeah.
I'm sorry. Give me a second. It closed. Where is it? 4.
So after you guys get a really good, nice sleep, you will totally level up and be 5. Until then, you're still level 4. How about that?
That'll work.
Okay.
Maybe if you wouldn't try sleeping out in the middle of canyons full of vampires and werewolves and giant birds that eat people. And the mere fact that you guys are like, where the fuck is Happus? He's gone. Those glorious pecks and horns.
He went to see his boo. He's like, I'm too pretty
We
for
still have
this.
his horse? Oh no, his horse. We killed his horse on accident,
You
right?
killed
No.
his horse on purpose.
Okay.
I thought I resurrected his horse.
And then
Didn't
he
we?
rode off with it, remember?
Okay. I don't
Okay.
remember, Jeff.
So you guys, you're following the trail through there. Your ranger's kind of cluing you in with what, she wants to clue you in with. Like she says, she wasn't there for very long, so she didn't get into the whole ghost thing. And totally, now that we have a priest, should talk about that whole cleansing thing, says Twigsy.
Yeah.
As you guys come up to the city gates, you see this giant 20-foot tall wood palisade fence. It's got the typical little airlock style system where there's a fence that they open up, and then there's a bigger gate that they open up once you're inside the little murder hole area. And do you guys say anything as you come riding up?
Do we have to get naked?
As immediately you kind of like hear some scuffling behind the palisade, as somebody kind of like, you can obviously hear them put a footstool down so they can get a better look instead of through the peephole.
Are
And
they a gnome too?
a guy, no, because it's a really high fence, so human-sized person
Oh.
needs a step stool to look over the wall instead of between the wood slats. And a guy with a helmet on kind of looks at you and says, "What are you doing, travelers? It's a bit early in the morning to be here."
Traveling.
And he kind of looks at the mechanical creature that just said traveling. And he kind of stares and squints, and you see he kind of rubs one of his eyes and looks again. And he kind of like says something real quietly down to whoever's with him behind the wall, and you can hear some scampering of feet.
Who's gonna bluff? Can we say that we came back like we promised?
I mean, do you want me to put on my Esme's a baller bitch attitude?
Esme, the cleric.
Yes. I'm here to bless your town. I'm here to hold church.
She's bluffing with her divineness.
Yes.
Can I assist? Is that what? Assist Arcana?
Well, what are you guys doing? You tell me what you're doing.
I would like.
I'm gonna do
I would
the
like to-
little minor illusion and light her up again like we did in the church before.
Yes.
Okay, so you do your illusion, and she has this glowing golden aura around her. What do you do, Esme, as you are now glowing with divine Freya-ness?
I'm here to hold church, guys. How y'all doing? When was the last time you held church?
Have you heard from Esmeville yet?
Yes. Have you heard? You should be expecting us.
Well, seeing as you got here faster than any news could, because you made really good time. So, Esme, are you going with a charm, or what are you going with?
I am going with a don't you dare eat another one of my cords.
Really? That's the weirdest skill ever. And these people are like, hide the musical instruments. She's afraid we're going to eat the chords.
She'll take our voices.
So steal our throats.
What is charm? Charm is
Iota.
Charm is persuasion.
persuasion.
Sit down. Lay down. Lay down.
Also,
Yeah, I'll lay on the charm for them.
Okay, go ahead and give me your roll, and thanks to the assistance of the golden glow of Freya around you, you do have advantage.
yeah.
Ooh.
Dirty 20.
Yes.
So immediately you hear him loud as, and crystal clear yell out, "There's a cleric! A cleric has come to reopen the church! We're saved! We're saved! Open the gates and allow the cleric of," and he kind of like stares at you, and he's trying to obviously see your holy symbol.
I'm gonna loudly mouth Freya.
As he says,
You know it already.
"We have a priestess of Freya with us! Freya be praised!" And the gates immediately, get thrown open really quickly as they kind of one guy's hand kind of whips out and gestures for you guys to come riding through as they open both the double gates.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'm
fancy.
gonna look back at the group and just kind of give them a shit-eating grin and wink.
Aldas kind of just nods. All right. Freya, yes, Freya.
As, quite a few people are giving weird looks to the mechanical guys. You come in and you see that there's, a group of about 6 guards behind the wall that were trying to stay quiet and out of the way as you guys were approaching. Totally dickish move, rather than greeting guests at the gate as most cities in the South would do. But hey, who are you to judge? As they kind of, point down the street and tell you, follow the squire. And this young guy comes up and says, "I will take you to the church priestess." And he kindly, reaches out for the reins of the horses. Does our mechanical man surrender?
Yeah, I'll hand him over. I don't know this town. I'll trust his guidance.
Okay, and he gladly grabs the reins, and you see one of the guards go scampering off between houses, probably go tell other people that you're here. As the boy is, gladly walking with his little chainmail vest and his sword on his hilt, and he's looking at you guys intently, saying, "So are you truly here to reopen the church to save the town?"
I am here to hold some sermons. Saving yourself, that is Freya's choice. All I can do is assist.
And he just he's sucking this in. He's hearing the good gospel, and he's like, yes, this is very sensible. Yes. I've heard the talk of others saying that you have to make sure to save yourself before any god can save your soul.
Yeah.
You sound very wise for being a look at him, soldier.
I am a squire in the holy warriors. That's what the mayor calls the band of protectors who protect the city. Mostly we just make sure that everyone stays indoors at night and make sure that we stay in the watchtower at night as well. And he kind of points over at a building that's got a really rickety pitched roof, and there's obviously that attic that looks like a tower. It's all fortified. There's iron bands over the window so you can look out the window but not have anything come creeping in the window. We spend vigil at night, watching to make sure that there are no, and he kind of gets a hushed voiced, creatures of the night. And if we do, we ring the bell, and he kind of points, and you see this rope pulley system to over the well. There's a big silver bell that hangs up over the well, and there's a rope that goes with pulleys and zips from the tower across a couple buildings over to the well. Just as
And what happens once you ring the bell? What is your plan of it? How do you fight against them?
Oh, well, usually we're told never to engage the creatures of the darkness because they are unholy and they bear the strength of 20 men, and most of the soldiers would not stand a chance if one of them crawled into the village. But instead, we try to stay safe and stay locked up.
Are these creatures corporeal?
And he kind of gives you this stare, like, he's trying to take you in your appearance, and he kind of thinks he remembers seeing someone like you once upon a time, and he's just like, they are vampires. Have you not seen a vampire? How did you get here without running into one?
Oh, we heard something else is going on in this village.
What do you mean?
Oh, we're the ghost?
Oh, and he just like kind of gets this like deflated look of like, oh, we don't talk about that.
But that's what we're here to talk about. Freya, help us.
Well, ever since the church was abandoned, and he kind of like looks around like he doesn't want to tell you guys. Maybe if someone tries to persuade him or intimidate him into telling more.
Am I still glowing?
It's not been more than a minute, so yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna touch his arm, his forearm, and be like, I can only help you if I know what's going on.
And it's absolutely adorable watching our little halfling try to reach to touch this kid who's pulling the lead horse along. Ugh. As she scampers across the back of the horse to get close enough to touch his arm. Go ahead and give me your persuasion.
And I'm still glowing, so I still have
advantage. As he kind of looks at you and says, "It's really not for me to tell. I'm sure the mayor will tell if you ask him politely." And he kind of it's almost like he's afraid there's people listening behind the shutters in the buildings. The way he looks around.
So then I'm gonna look at him and be like, "If your mayor doesn't tell me, I will find you and you will tell me."
And he gives you this very sheepish nod, like, "Okay."
Is this a child, or is he just
he's like 13, if that.
Okay.
His armor's ridiculously big on him.
So he's middle-aged for this world.
Old enough to do the job, young enough to probably not do it in your part of the country.
Gotcha,
man. What did he call themselves? Oh, the holy rollers?
The holy warriors.
Oh, holy warriors. There we go.
That's what their little order used to be called when they actually had paladins and shit.
When they were adults?
Whoa, back before. Sorry, I can't tell you anymore. It's not for me to tell.
Oh, but it sounds like you need to get it off your chest. It's okay to talk to me.
Why don't we get to the church and you can have them talk in the little confessional?
Yeah, well, we're talking. Ooh, oh, please let me take someone's confession.
So after a little while, you see, a couple people are opening shutters and kind of staring at you guys, and they've got that serious, intense look as they're staring at you guys as you guys ride past. And nobody's saying a damn word as the kid kind of pulls up the hood on, he had the hood on his chainmail down before, but he kind of pulls his little hoodie up to cover his face some as he, doesn't want the eyes of the people staring at him.
A chainmail hoodie? Oh my god, he's so emo.
Well, that's what chainmail is it's got a hoodie on it.
We left our little emo child at the other town.
We should. I guess we're adopting a new emo kid. Well, anyone that I see is staring, I'm gonna stare back and make good eye contact with them, and not be glare, but good solid eye contact until I pass them.
Ooh.
Did this squire give us a name?
He has not.
Young gentleman, what is your name?
You may call me Ty.
Hi, I'm Audas. Nice to meet you.
And he kind of comes up and gets as close to you as he can. He kind of knocks on your torso and he says, "Are you inside this armor, sir? Are you a gnome? Are you one of those artificers I've been told about?"
Oh no, not an artificer, but it's possible a gnome created me. They do that sort of thing.
What's his name?
tie.
What?
Tie. I like
Tie.
tying something.
Okay.
I mean,
Sorry,
that
I
squeaky
accidentally-
toy almost sounded like a child crying. Obviously, there must be a child crying inside one of these houses.
Wish I like my Skype didn't just shut down for no apparent reason.
As it does. As you know, he basically takes you guys to the church and kind of asks if you'd like him to take the horses off the wagon.
Of course.
Yes, that sounds nice.
And
we need to rest so we can regain our power up.
would you like me to take the horses over to the livery? And he kind of points over. You see that there's a tavern that's got a horse barn next to it. And it's ridiculously armored with like spikes and pokey sticks sticking through the
Hey
gates.
guys, I think if our horses stay there, they won't die. What do you think?
That could
Looks
be
good.
good for a change.
We should probably sleep in there too, because it looks like the safest place in the city.
Wow. Hey, on the plus side, when you guys get close enough to actually see the church, it looks like at one time the church was barricaded, like massively from keeping anything from getting inside it. Except for there's a small window where it looks like there was a fire that burned all the chairs and tables that were thrown outside the window for, debris. Someone burned the window until it's like
Someone burned the Church of Esme, guys. This can't be stood for.
As he kind of looks at you and blinks, he says, "No, my lady. That's the Church of Light. It's for all of the gods of light."
It's okay, honey. When you get a little older, you'll understand. Church of Esme is the way to go.
And he kind of unhitches the horses and walks them over to the livery, but kind of gives you this weird look, like he doesn't quite get what you mean by that, but that maybe if he pays attention, he'll understand.
I'm gonna have my own cult, guys. It's gonna be fantastic.
Hey, it's a cult when you have this many members.
And the church obviously has gotten a lot of disuse. The weeds are high. It's kind of similar to what you remember in the town of Esme. But you notice that they literally threw every bit of furniture they had outside the doors and windows as barricades. And the door obviously seems to be like nailed shut from the inside, and no one seemed to have messed with it since that happened.
So can we announce ourselves to make sure no one's in there?
Yeah, you can totally announce yourselves.
Hello.
And you just get this sound of slamming shutters as someone was watching you, obviously with disapproval, and they're closing the shutters loudly, and the sound of the wind blowing through the building.
Who can disapprove of a group with a glowing human? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, halfling.
You're not a human.
I corrected myself.
Look who's getting big for their britches.
I'm taller than her.
Our halfling's got delusions of humanhood.
I am a humanoid. Thank you
I'm
very
gonna
much.
put her in her place, said the gnome. How dare you not look up to me?
I do
Wow,
look up to you, but I look down on everyone else.
that's just wrong. So what do you guys do? I mean, you're outside the church. You can choose to beat down the door if you want, or you can clearly go to the burnt out side of the church and walk right through the burnt out opening.
I say we go for easy. We have an opening. We don't have to
Yeah.
make our own hole.
Well, if the windows are just boarded up, I can sneak Lorenzo in. He can sneak in and see what's going on.
Ooh, or you can send him through the giant hole in the wall too.
Yeah. Let's go through the giant hole in the wall, I guess.
Okay, you guys go, a good 10, 20 feet over to the side where what used to be a nice, beautiful window with probably stained glass, somebody steps on a chunk of blue glass. And you can see that someone burned a chunk of this wall out. to make a portal in, and obviously from the long disturbed footprints that you can't really make out, Ranger, so don't even bother rolling survival, that somebody like went in and out of this building through this hole quite a few times.
Can we do like an Arcana check to see what caused the hole?
I can give you without Arcana, looks like fire.
Okay.
The special magic that is fire in a wood building.
Gotcha. Looks burned, guys. Detective
My
Twigsy here.
magic powers tell you it was a fire.
I mean, y'all have seen enough burnt out buildings from time to time that someone obviously dropped a candle and the wall caught fire.
That's
I appreciate that you said that we've seen, not caused.
Well, I leave that interpretation up to you guys. I mean, this isn't your druid for tomorrow night.
were we the affliction of the fire?
I'm a fire druid tomorrow.
So you guys, what do you do? I mean, you're sending Lorenzo in through the burnt out opening?
Yes.
I mean, a human-sized person could easily walk through this burned out opening.
Should we
And
not all enter together?
And so Lorenzo goes sneaking in and he kind of looks left, looks right. Give me a perception check for Lorenzo.
That's just my perception. Yeah.
Still, give me a perception check
No, I was
for
asking.
Lorenzo.
No, go.
Oh no, Lorenzo, his little eyes can't handle
As
it.
Lorenzo's little eyes are confused by all the things they see, and he's just looking at everything. And then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, seed." And he starts chewing a seed as he hears some growling noise. See, there's some growling noise as Lorenzo gets very excited about a dandelion seed.
It's Callistra's stomach.
Yeah.
We haven't had a ranger in a while. All right, do the rest of us roll perception?
Are you
I
guys
think
going
we'd have to walk
inside?
in.
I mean,
If he doesn't tell us anything, I'm still want to walk in.
well, remember, Lorenzo only talks to Twigsy, so
Yeah. If he hasn't come back, I'm gonna go see what's going on.
okay. So anybody going with Twigsy? And it sounds like Esme's going too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, sure.
Okay, you guys are
So
all
we should
walking.
all rolling perception to go inside.
Well,
Yep.
I don't need a bunch of perception rolls, but I'll let one person make a roll and they have
I
advantage
have a
since
plus
you're
5
aiding.
to perception.
I'll
That's
assist.
better
I
than
have
my
plus
two.
5 also.
Because it
Okay,
really
so I'm
doesn't help if
rolling.
like 5 people roll perception.
I'll roll perception.
We'll assist.
Okay, so you all come in the church and you're all looking. And clearly,
23.
what you guys are all taking in when you walk in there is, some of you are moving some of the burnt boards over and some of the burnt stuff, and then all of a sudden our ranger kind of brushes some leather that she thought was just leather, and this burnt husk comes popping out of the ash pile. As clearly she sees this burnt husk has an iron brazier death gripped in its hand. And she kind of believes that this is the corpse of the person who probably started the fire on the
Revenge
inside
of the
of the building.
bugbears. Can we tell if it was a human person?
Yeah, it's definitely a human corpse. She has seen enough human corpses to know what they look like. Doesn't have those fine elven cheekbones. And no pointy fangs for a vampire.
Appears to be a
That's-
dead human.
Appears to be a human that's been dead for many, many years and just left out here in this rotting building.
They didn't bury them or anything with all the superstitions?
Nope.
Hey, stop
Huh.
it. Hey,
As,
stop it.
as Twigsy is growling at Esme and barking. Druids, who knew?
You. Fuck.
And clearly, whoever was the most assistive person to help our ranger do their thing, you find on the ground, obviously recently placed because it's not touched by any fire. It's just been covered by some soot and ash so that the rain's been, milling about, is a little tiny stick figurine that if someone gives me a religion roll, I can tell you what significance it has.
I think
It's the Blair Witch.
I should do the religion.
Yes.
So smart.
As Twigsy picks this up and brushes it off and points it at Esme, and Esme says, that's a symbol of protection from the Church of Light.
Against the Church of Light, or the Church of Light created it?
It's basically backwoods magic protection charm
Okay.
for good
Oh,
people.
so perhaps
There's
they're trying to
nothing wrong
stop
with
it.
forest magic.
So somebody
what?
must
Good
have made
people
this
is a relative
protection
term.
charm and placed it here, kind of like as a afterthought, or they were afraid of doing more, so they kind of snuck out here and put it out there.
I would like to keep it with us because we might need one.
Okay, it's this little tiny, about fits in the size of a gnome's palm. Looks like
What you trying
two
to say?
thunderbolts kind of yin-yanging with each other.
Okay.
So, am I still glowing? If I'm glowing, does it give us any light inside?
Your glowing effect has worn off, but this long abandoned building has enough cracks with light shooting through that you can clearly see inside.
Plus, don't we all have dark vision?
No.
We're not talking about that except for the one person who doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Screw y'all. Screw y'all. I'll just put on like sunglasses and then my dark
Well,
vision will
and
be
then
nothing.
Audos has double vision, though.
Yeah,
so
it's
he can
super-
see anything.
It's got creepy mechanical devil vision.
Can
so
I,
you
like,
guys
steal his
have-
eyeballs to have dark vision?
I'm sure if you looked for a gypsy vendor, there's a gypsy vendor that will sell you magical eye drops to give you dark vision temporarily.
Ooh, I think that should be on my shopping list whenever it's time to go shopping.
The question is, what will the gypsy ask for in exchange?
You're just gonna have like the
duh,
hypnotoad
blowjob.
people stuff. What's the equivalent exchange on that?
Like-
Dark vision eye drops. Duh.
Four drops.
Wow.
Gotta roll performance to see how many eye drops you get.
Give me a dexterity save.
I think I have a pretty good dex. I don't know. I think performance is the more appropriate one.
Gotta do a con save to make sure you don't choke.
I mean,
Wow.
do I really depends. Ooh, I could do sleight of hand.
You know it must be late because everyone's gone goofy. So what do you guys do in this church? I mean, it's clearly long abandoned. It's been abandoned at least 2 years at least.
So I told them I was going to hold church. What time of day is it?
It's about 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so is there like a podium like the other church had?
It looks like it. You go around and you look to where the general room of worship is, and the place looks obviously trash. You know, the pews are all knocked over and pushed aside, like someone with great strength just like flung them across the room. And the what you would have been the podium for someone to speak is smashed into pieces as the dust in here is totally making Twigsy cough.
Okay.
Dirty guy.
So, what would I have to do to make it presentable? Because like all the chairs have been like used outside for their fire. Like, what do I have to do to make this not a shitty place to preach at people?
You need a cast montage of the 80s.
Da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da. I mean, are you going to try to talk your friends into cleaning? Because it'll take many hours of work with many hands.
Well, like, it doesn't need to be like clean. It just needs to be like presentable enough that when they come in, that like I can like catch them with my charm, but they're not disgusted by the building.
We don't need a guest clean. We need an apartment inspection clean.
Yes. We need a grandma died and we're having dinner tonight clean.
As Freya looks at, Esme and goes, really? This place looks like a litter box. You can do better.
Maybe we could set like a tarp. Sorry.
A tarp?
Yeah,
so
we could do
sharp
like
out
a
up
snake
front.
tent.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you think that standing outside and talking would be better, I'm very small. I think walls will help my voice reverberate.
Is our little squire around still? Could we ask if he can let everyone know that we're here to help the church? To see if anyone from the town will come?
He's busy taking care of the horses at the moment.
Oh.
But you have a feeling if you guys stick around here and make noise, you might get some attention.
Okay.
And we're talking, it's going to take a lot of work to even be able to get people in here. I mean, somebody's got to go to the door and basically break the door apart to get it to open up.
Why can't we just have people going through the hole?
That's totally up to you who's holding church.
Let's,
I am holding church.
Yeah, we could cut the hole to make it look like more a door and just retrofit it with doors eventually, yeah?
Yeah, yes.
Let's just cut a bigger hole.
Okay,
Like,
someone with
like,
proficiency in carpenter's tools, give me a roll. If they don't have to be proficient, but
Yeah, let me.
I think
Isn't
the short
Audas
person
good at
should
that?
not do it.
Yeah, let me.
Because you built our cart.
he's like, I'm good with carpentry.
I've got arms.
No,
20% of me is made of wood.
I took land vehicles instead of carpentry.
Oh, okay.
So.
The same land building, close enough.
So give me a D20 roll with you tell me which attribute you're taking a bonus off of and how that's affecting it. Like dex because you're being nimble, strength because you're he-manning it.
Intelligence because you're a contractor.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Do we have anybody who's like strong in the party?
You.
No,
You.
I'm not.
No, he's a caster.
I have 8 as 8 strength.
How are you a weak robot man?
He's a caster.
Yeah, I cast. I cast
But
spells.
you're still a robot man.
I think Callistra is the strongest one.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on our robot is weak.
Yeah.
He's a caster.
My whim, like,
Okay, but he's still a robot. He still has to be stronger than like me.
I'm rickety.
Look at C-3PO. The guy was barely holding himself together.
I was gonna say that.
That's why I need the heavy armor, because otherwise I'll fall apart.
He's a 3PO.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to make you a less weak robot. Maybe Freya will bless you and like.
I'm gonna paint one of your arms red, so everyone knows.
You've now salvaged badassness.
We'll paint your arm red, and that'll be the one that's strong.
15% of your chassis is now badass.
Are you left-handed or right-handed? We gotta make sure we mark it right for you.
Left-handed.
Oh, that makes you better than everyone else, fellow left-handed person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and somebody give me a roll as you're attempting to clean up the burnt out wall and turn it into a nice serviceable portal. This is just so I know how nice it looks.
Go, Rick. Roll your intelligence modifier.
Which is 0.
Oh, wisdom.
Different kind of caster.
I'm a charisma caster.
And no, I don't think charisma can really work in this situation. You cannot charm.
I'm happy to roll it, but it's not. I'm not good at any of this.
Well, I thought you were strong, so I was harassing you to make the door. So let's see how disappointed I am.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, I do an average job.
Disappointment.
Okay, so at 13, you kind of like it takes you time, but you clear things out, so it's a serviceable portal. You know, it could look better, but it could definitely look worse. As you know, you basically have a opening that you can clearly walk in and out without somebody stubbing a toe and dying of tetanus. Because fantasy world.
Can I turn into anything big to help us?
You totally could have, but at the moment, don't worry about it, because, you know, everyone stood and watched the mechanical man take his role as a subservient mechanical man and doing the labor. Feel kind of bad there. But yeah, you can totally all chip in to basically help and clean up.
Yeah, we'll help.
Is there so I know you said that there's enough cracks to like have light be in. Is there any like candle holders for like of actual artificial lighting?
Give me a perception check.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum,
There's a
bum,
brazier.
bum, bum,
Sorry.
It burned fine for the last guy. Okay, so you find a good dozen candlestick holders that have enough candles still in them that haven't like melted completely away, that you could totally light the place up and give the House of Freya its proper glow.
When the time comes, perfect.
Okay, so it is getting closer towards evening time after all that work's been happening as you guys are cleaning it up, getting pews back up on their proper sides.
Has the little boy come to check up on us again?
As Aodos is finishing cleaning up and dropping off some more refuse out there, the kid's kind of standing just outside the church's property line, convenient little stone markers, and he's just kind of watching you, like trying to figure out what you all are doing.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go up to him and be like, "Hey, Ty, I told y'all I'm here to have church. You want to tell some people that there's gonna be church in like a little bit?"
And he basically says, "What time will you have services? I'll make sure to tell everyone."
Well,
An hour from now.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to go through town?
Yeah, I was thinking, you go.
It's a town of like 700 people, so it's not that long at all.
You go and tell everyone that church is tonight. By the time y'all get here, I'll be ready to talk at you.
Well, he totally looks at you, my lady. If it's even within an hour of sunset, people won't leave their houses.
That makes sense.
What time is it now?
It's about 3:00. Got a good 3-4 hours.
Well, what time does the sun go down?
And he kind of looks up at the sky and kind of makes this rough hand gesture where he's sticking his hand up to see how many fingers high from the horizon the sun is currently at. And he's just like, well, it seems that it's, and he kind of like listens for a second. And he's like, I think we have about a good 4 hours before the sun sets. But,
okay, then that gives you an hour to tell everyone it's time for church to wash their faces and come listen to me preach.
Yes, my lady. Just know that the Lord Mayor has ordered everyone to be home at least an hour before the sun sets.
So you should walk fast.
And he immediately turns and you hear the jingle of his chain mail as he goes start running and he starts knocking on doors and saying, you hear him yelling into the doors saying, "Everyone come to the church quickly. There'll be services." And he goes running to the next houses and bangs on the door really excitedly. And little old lady opens the door and he immediately leans in and whispers into her ear and she nods yes. And he runs to the next house as you guys are continuing to clean up the church some.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this, so hopefully I don't jinx myself. You know how well I did at church last time? Wouldn't it be amazing if I sucked balls at it this time? All right, let's continue.
As ominously in the background, we totally see that there's a couple, buckets of pitch and a nice long rail and some bags of, duck feathers.
No, I'm not that bad.
And you never know. We may have to tar and feather you. Okay, so little montage happens later as you guys are cleaning up and people start gathering outside. You hear the murmur of people talking to each other. There's about a good 24 people kind of standing off the church property murmuring to each other of like, is this serious? I mean, who would think? And of course, one old lady's like, "We need to go home. This is not what the Lord Mayor would want." As you kind of look over the little old lady, she's getting all puffy and telling these people shaking her cane, that we need to return to our homes. And you see clearly about a block behind her, there's a very, very fancy gentleman with a very nice mustache and a very fancy hat and very poofy pantaloons that scream of the big city style. 20 years ago. And he's got a little, retinue of, 5 soldiers following behind him. As, he kind of like puts his hands on his slightly small belly, but bigger belly than a lot of the people you're seeing in the town. As he's like, "Everyone, peace, be at peace, be at peace. are the strangers here? And he kind of like looks amongst the crowd, and everyone's shaking. One particular man who, a serviceable archway there. Kind of look at what? Yeah.
So should my arm the mayor? Sounds like he might push my butt. Does someone else want to be come out before church starts?
I have getting on to my.
You probably have the highest.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give it a go. Every
Let me hear this. You should explain to the mechanical man what church
maybe.
check as you start to try to like anxiety that the Lord Mayor is creating. As you are easily with your 14 able to kind of calm the crowd as the church, and he kind of like steps to get between you and the crowd, and he's like, hold, friends, neighbors, my friends, my cousins, my aunts and grandmother, let me and see what in. He says, sure, and deep, shaking their heads with this like picking up on social cues.
Bow my head up.
Mockingly join in with them. Excuse me, friend, to you, and kind of pushes you without asking for leave. Kind of like just there, kind of loudly of hello for those who are in the. I'm the Lord Mayor. Who told that there is a priestess among you? As the room goes silent.
I'm sorry. Mayor that with my toes.
As he comes in, his priestess.
The priest is your name?
And he comes to you, he has this like dashing smile that immediately turns on, and his mustache, kind of accentuates the smile. He kind of half curtsies, and on his curtsy he drops so he's face you. I'm
Bison?
Bison. Prince say his name wrong.
Getting on his knees to be eye to eye with me.
With one knee, and he has a hanky under.
That's why my eyebrows.
As he looks at you and says, my dear priestess, why your throws the word out. Priests? Heroes. Your band of heroes. And he kind of nods as heroes. The church had assistance to us in our simple town.
We are on a holy quest, and part of our holy quest is we come across churches abandoned by their town to help remind you.
Kind of like, when you throw out the abandoned, he kind of does this. He pulls out another hanky out of his chest hair as he out, and he kind of wipes the bridge of his nose as if some like on it that really isn't there. Every folk of this town have seen infinite country, and the way he's saying this, he's better than that. Mm-hmm. That's after great. He's done this in front of the mirror times. This house of worship. That the locals of our community to set foot.
Well, you're beautiful country folk. Why haven't you done your job to properly educate?
Well, I am simply for getting things too spiritual. Oh, my place is not to meddle in the affairs of the spiritual needs of people.
Their faith?
Well, I believe faith is between every man and
that's called something else.
And he looks at it, he's obviously doing her a little bit. And I believe that every household's own religious pursuit, as long as no harm is brought to the community as a whole, is next to godliness.
I want to do an insight check.
I say thank you, Bison. And then everyone's like, all right, so they don't want to come in the building. Help me be loud outside so we can because this has that they would get a sermon. I want to come inside the building. I gotta what's that? The Mason?
And cringes when you say it wrong, and he kind of gets off his hanky and puts it back in a hidden pocket. And what does Twixie say? What are you saying to him?
I wanted to do an insight check one, so I know he's full of shit.
Okay, go inside check.
Oh, I feel like he probably believes the bullshit he's saying.
Shit.
You totally believe everything Mr. Fancy Pants is telling you
Damn
because
it.
that's what your mind. He has fancy pants, so everything he says must be the truth.
It must be true.
Said they're poopy.
If I had pants that fancy, I'd run a town too.
How to buy the pants.
I am pretending like I believe him, and so I'm gonna step out of church.
Okay, so you come outside. And he's a polite distance. He's not hurting you or anything, but he takes a polite distance. You go outside. People kind of murmur that it's a halfling.
Ciao. So it's because I won't be able to that I can be amplified.
Do you have thaumaturgy?
Do I have?
Oh my god.
Thaumaturgy.
Vomit.
She did.
Wow.
I do actually.
And
Oh my
what's
God.
one of the effects of thaumaturgy?
You say the word like that? I'm so glad that you're reading it for me.
I'm pretty sure that's
Ooh, I think I can do it. Because I don't need. I'd like you guys' show of support.
Yeah.
Apparently, I can do it myself.
Okay.
So, if I remember correctly from I did the church, I had to have a theme, right, of what I'm preaching.
Yeah. What was the overarching,
Okay, well, so this is talking about community and all that bullshit. So I was certainly taking care of each other, throwing a little sprinkle of help neighbor slash, like just a very general kind of something that contradicting Mr. Fancy Pants, but I am being this badass and emphasizing how part of community meeting together in the name of Freya to worship appropriately.
Okay, I like that. I think you guys are assisting when she begins her sermon.
I mean,
This is when she have musical instrument tambourine.
Yeah.
And they remember reading with her.
Definitely
Sure.
make drumming noises.
Do the banner use like the Jumanji noise in the background. No,
Dun, 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 dun. Wrong dramatic music.
I'm gonna do minor illusion. So sweet and welcoming.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
Okay, so she definitely has advantage. Y'all are assisting in various ways. So go ahead and give me a religion roll. Hey, you're running. As you know,
And
people
well,
start.
the kind of stuff for poofy pants, but everything I say is right. Can't act.
Unrebuttable words.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
say that the church, the small towns, and
As the dog just.
This is my opening ceremony, my opening Jesus. Before I'm sorry, Frey. Wrong.
Freya! By the power of Freya! As my
And
dog
I'm
looks
like
over the
leading
wall.
them on bull. They're afraid to go in the church for something. I make someone tell me about later. But like I'm keeping my promise. Will sparkle.
During your speech, one of the ladies kind of looks over her kids or grandkids. You can't quite tell because these are hardy folks. They age quick. And the kid you see goes rough with something and comes back with the sack. And she kind of comes close to you guys and kind of like throws the sack, obviously church off, tepetos. As it kind of hits the ground with a crunchy sound, as it obviously some kind of food.
Yes. Offerings without me asking. Those are the best kinds.
As the people are just their hands are up, they're in the air, they're feeling the spiritual movement going on here. Glow comes the priestess. That the sun is setting. Our community to help us and save us from the oppression taking grip on our hearts and souls. And he totally does the politics up to some grandmother in an almost condescending way, but she smiles at him. Oh, Oh, you acknowledge me. I'm in force. And he just nods her, yes, yes, grandmother. And he's saying it in the figurative speech, not the literal speech. We need to make sure everyone's safe before the sun sets, before they come back. And you see this like hush, tensions immediately up. Okay, I haven't been in here for a few weeks at least. Oh, and the mayor just, I hope that's true, but we should rely on caution rather than looks at you and he says hope. Anyway.
Well, I'm going to be like, oh my goodness, so sorry, Freya. I just got caught up in the moment. Please go to your homes. I will hold service again tomorrow earlier. I would love to shake each and every one of your hands.
And he looks, like a solid human 60, which in the country that means really old. It comes up and it to shake your hand.
Oh, and I shake it right back, and I like sincere, good person grin, not my sarcastic grin I usually give.
He, old man, pat on the back of your hand with his other hand. It wouldn't be safe for your friends, your heroes, and he says that almost in a serious tone, mocking tone, are not safe in this house of the gods. For you know not. And he starts to say something about the god's hand in this building, and then Cecil, yes. If they wish you at your wood shack, that's fine. Everyone gets a chance to shake the priestess's hand. And he kind of like shushes this old man very dismissively, very assholely. I'll totally point that one out without any insight check. And the old man, you look, but obviously you see the down, and he just kind of like mentions over to he goes to the cute gnome, as obviously someone on the mildew and ash that they've been cleaning up in dust. As if you would like to stay at my shack, since I've passed away, I do have room for others. If you don't mind using the common room. And he kind of, with a rickety finger, kind of squint your eyes, perception.
I'm gonna.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ranger, as you're watching for danger, because obviously this church is a death trap waiting to happen. Obviously bad things. Thank God the bloodstains have decayed away.
I like to stay with the old man so he can tell us what happened.
Twigsy clearly sees about a quarter of a mile down the road, there's this shack, and it's got this pile of wood that's literally like all four of the walls of the building are covered with piles of wood.
Maybe it's more stable like we wanted to.
As his friends need a place to stay, you can join me in my woodshed. It's a house, but surrounded by wood. So you get the idea that that's this man's job.
Perhaps the wood protects us.
Yeah, I would say free room and board, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And you see, Walt slowly starts walking his knees. He's too proud to use a cane, but you see him kind of stumble every now and then, like every fifth or sixth, as he's looking back at you guys, and he has a smile on his face, like, I have a feeling things are going to get better.
You're so cute.
So he basically spends the next few minutes shaking everybody's hand, and of course people are like, can you give my child a blessing?
Of course. Like pat them on the head, or like if it's a cute little baby, I'm gonna kiss it on the forehead.
Okay, so you give them kind of the passing nice touch. May Freya be with you.
Yes.
May cast her grace upon you. Give me a
Not give me an Esmond.
Esmond.
So people start going, Vance, and the mayor's like, go, my friends, go, my fellow living beings, and please make sure you have locked yourselves safely in your homes. The bells to let us know that the cock has crowed and it is safe.
Oh, he's shady as fuck.
Yeah. I raise my eye because I don't like he says it.
Oh my god.
No, he just invented weird words. I'm not being a pervert this time around.
Uh-huh.
That was earlier. So what do you guys do as
Exactly.
people are taking off and you're seeing there's every
I think we room.
I think he's going to tell us what went down in the city. So I
Yes,
vote we go with.
let's go. I love that.
Let's get all the dirt.
Yes, and it won't be size through fancy pants.
And are you guys
So
just blatantly walking down the street, just being subtle and trying to see if you shake any pursuers?
I'm not at all high. We're going.
Yeah.
or where we're
Okay.
Didn't everyone just tell us to stay
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
they
I-
totally
I-
all heard you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, how's your? I want to see
I'm
if you're
not
being
being
sick.
We should look like
So-
Virginia. No, think we'll.
Yeah.
Someone's
Okay.
taking us in.
And
Okay.
anyone who I'm looking at, like, I'm going to be making sure that anyone wants to talk to me slow, just in case anyone wants to keep shaking. My important to tell me, but I'm going to not look like I'm dreading going to back.
So if
Yeah.
as you guys are walking, kind of pop their doors open and they send a runner out of the house to like come and thing into Esme's hands really quick. She's getting a bit, I'm sure, handing things to other people to carry.
Yeah.
Of course.
As you know, you guys have been given a big bag of fairly fresh European style bread, but it's fresh it feels, and we're
Oh,
talking.
Kings.
And then somebody like throws a hill of bits of bacon in a little bag. Smell that bacon coming off of it. Then another household 2 wineskins to you that you're not sure is in them, except the one person says, "This is priestess. No need to consecrate it. My husband has brewed it himself."
Everyone genuinely. I shake their hands. Kiss a hand if the right mood strikes me. I'm very, very genuine right now.
Okay, and unfortunately, last as you guys walk now with every couple to stop you for just a quick second, as they're totally next to their safe houses and not worried about you as much as they should be. And you guys get to the old man's woodshed and object at this point, and there's some kind of weird thing in front. Someone want to give me a perception check?
I'll assist.
Assist me.
I'll
Okay.
definitely help because I can see, or I guess.
All right.
So you're rolling with it. Clearly, with your 15, you can see kind of booby trap at his door.
All right. Without the door, without
Can we
stepping
holler
in
and
this.
say hello?
Yeah, you can totally do that.
Good sir, the priestess.
And you clearly hear some wood pallets sliding. Obviously, he's got his door barricaded. He opens a tiny plank that perfectly seamlessly was unseen a minute ago. He sees that it's actually kind of like, gestures his hand in that gesture that you should kiss something so.
All right. Of course, we all kiss.
Yeah, we all have.
And for you all affinity that he's pulling some ropes, it sounds like, as you hear pulleys spinning, and it's on the floor starts rising up. As you see, it's got 2 little wall, and it's lifting up a piece of 4x4 plywood covered in wood spikes. Some sod thrown on top of it. But clearly our ranger with her keen eyes, there was pointy things sticking out of it. As the ranger totally is the type of thing that you would do in bear country to keep bear front door.
Yeah.
As he plays, gestures for you guys to come in, different boards or side. As he slept somewhere else tonight, I'm glad that you're choosing to be safe.
Of course, my dear friends, a lot of people that apparently really haven't had church ever felt so welcome.
And he just kind of smiles with a couple of teeth missing in his mouth as he's just, yes, it's been many. He seemed kind of like wander for a second. He's like, wait, before we start the thing, mechanical man, and it says, "You are invited into my house."
Thank
you. He's like not sure if you have to have an invite. And he comes the door shut, and then you hear him. He goes holy, and he's winching the piece, putting the trap back where it was. He starts putting boards across the door. And
Do you need help?
Totally poo-poos you guys have. You should sit in the benches, and you look and see that he's got exquisite tables and benches here. Obviously, this guy he's good with his hands with wood.
Laughing like a pervert.
I don't.
Wait. I need a tiny catapult from this man.
I don't think Aldros sits in chairs very well, so he kind of just goes into sit mode.
Like, is that like squatting on top
Yeah.
of legs? Like, your
Yeah,
legs
pretty
fall
much.
inside of
Say like Bender when he's
Yes, exactly.
where the legs just go up inside. Seated. And he kind of gestures that he's got some black root tea brewing, which is coffee. And if you guys would like some, he makes sure to make it extra strong to help stay needed. He comes over there, and tonight he goes over. He gets candles he had lit, just a single candle, and he goes over and opens up a bag and starts putting white powder on the floor. The doors, the powder, and then pours a line of this powder in front of the windows, and he says, "I hope minds, but I follow all of the old superstitions. My wife was a believer in the old ways."
Well, it's kept him safe so far.
And if you say that, he agrees and says that's exactly. And he's kind of like wander off with his mind for a second about his wife, old woodsy hokum ways. And my wife's name was Rona. She was a good woman. Sadly, she died at a young age.
Really?
Rona.
The co-Rona?
Wow.
My God.
Cousin Rona.
Died at a young age?
Can we ask what the church?
Ask about the church, and he makes kind of this sour face first. There's some bad feel when you ask about it. And he kind of...
That's what it's... Mm-hmm.
He second bad days, and he kind of like goes over to this teapot, pours some of this very, very thick and dark liquid into a cup and starts sipping on it. And he kind of like gives the hand gesture. Obviously,
I will try it because I like to do two things.
Oh, are you trying to get inspiration there? I like that. And
can I ask him if something happens to Bison, who takes it?
you mean Bison? And
Yep.
he kind of pronounces it correctly. He's like, nobody else wanted the horrible job. Our last mayor would, when kind of his daughter was, he kind of like gets this. He's like, was taking one of the bees, and he kind of like some of the coffee. He takes a long sip of his.
I will also drink it.
And it's
Yeah, I'll take
super
it.
bitter.
I'll do anything to me.
You just that you won't bring a cup for the mechanical man.
Because it'll be on my shoulder.
Lorenzo, nothing to do with this horrible, acrid brew.
I offered.
As he sips on it and says, a few years ago, and obviously his loyal canine over to him with an old dog. A dog that looks ridiculous, old, and ricks down with a ruff at his feet, and the sort of dust down, and he just kind of like leans down and scrunches the dog, as everyone knows you can't resist doing. And he says, years ago, our old mayor used to organize the younger folk and the older folk protecting this village, because we had a trade of raising, rearing, and tending horses for the church. But that was, and he kind of looks at the boarded up window, and that was back when the church make pilgrims up here to care for our people. And you see, he's not got an accusatory look or anything, but he just kind of like looks back and smiles about better years. I used to harvest wood and send it back with the horse riders as well, because some of the heartwood from up here burns the longest, the brightest. Glint in his eye, like he's remembering. He looks back and says, "Sorry, I digress. The older a man gets, the fonder he is he still has." I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Oh, just what happens if something happens, or you're a good person.
I assume one of the Holy Order of Warriors will take his place, or they'll do another vote and see if someone old enough to volunteer to be mayor.
adults in that holy order?
Oh, yes. Are you referring to the young squire?
Hi, he was a very lovely man.
Yes, he's a good boy. He's done jobs for me and mother. Lord bless is to take care of her, and he does odd jobs. And now that the holy warriors pay him a silver piece a week to be their squire, labor twice that price. I always make sure to leave extra fire out for him to take to his grandmother to make sure that they don't freeze.
So, I don't want to be rude, but I have to be really. What happened in church on with the ghosts? Something tells me they're related.
So he kind of like reaches down and fills up his pipe with some tobacco, and he goes over to that single candle that's in the house that's getting dark, and he handled the light up his pipe, kind of puts this
Like a
ominous
badass.
glow in his face as he comes over and plops down in one of the chairs next to the lit fireplace, and he gets a good tens of puffing to get a nice glowing ember in his pipe, and he blows out this bluish grace that catches the single candle's light perfectly as he says, "The ghosts, you say?" And he kind of sitting Esme, and he seems to be like looking through you, like he's looking at someone sitting right. So weird that you even kind of like glance behind you to see if he's looking at something. And he says, "No, there's nothing, priestess. Just ghosts of the night. The ghosts have been appearing here ever since the village."
How's the village cursed? Cursed?
Was cursed when the old Hazen was tastes. The beasts of the night we fear exit his doors. You hear like the wind kind of make the door rattle for and steal our children and goats. Feed on our dogs and lower steps. And he kind of dog and scrunches up. And the pup just makes this sad old earth dog. One winter she disappeared during she was, and everyone feared had gotten her, which days later that they had, and she was given. And when he says Mark, he kind of rubs his neck, of course, immediately picking up that cue.
Yeah.
And her father brought her back into against the wishes swept by the beast, and that she but the old mayor heard stories that you could break the curse of the beast. Her locked up in a holy place with her. If you can do it for the full moons, the curse would be broken.
The furry beast? Bitey beast.
These are the bitey. Well, they're both bitey beasts.
Oh, that's true.
From what you're getting of his neck, you've seen enough of them. You're thinking vampire. You're thinking vampire.
Can we do like a lore check
If you want to go ahead and roll an arcana.
that are
Now the question is,
Who's good at
who's
arcana?
gonna roll it, and are you guys
Well, is it Talia is a monster hunter, don't you know monster-y things?
Yeah. What do I roll for this, Jim?
Well, it depends. Do you have a cool monster hunter thing? And are you gonna get from the story?
Yeah. I've been with Talia monster hunting for a while.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't remember this about vampires.
Continue
Okay.
his story.
Let's get all the details.
Murmuring, and he politely stops and sucks slowly
Continue,
on
sir.
his pipe.
Apologize, sir.
Beautiful, warm glow coming off the pipe that you can tell is good for his arthritic hands. He seems to be enjoying switching hands holding the pipe. And he blows the smoke out like, he can almost see the path limbs. The mayor took his daughter back to his home for the first day and tended her with herb repel beasts, fur and claw, fang, eye, red embers. And then the priest let him keep daughter in there. And I mean no disrespect, my lady priestess. It's a hand up like, no disrespect. Genuine. It's hard even. he does the sign of Freya over his chest.
Ooh, butt kisser.
Adamant believer of the Lord of Light's teachings. Feel off him.
Wrong god.
And he insists that anything touched ever tainted and beyond salvation. And the mayor will not accept this as the answer. And he gets kind of like super hesitant, starts to get all quiet. Is someone going to go for a persuasion to push him?
I will.
And you totally have advantage. You are his guests. And you did pray the prayer.
Persuade. It's okay. Believe it. It's okay. Understand.
He kind of, he kind of coughs slightly to his deep, chesty pipe that you know is the tobacco, but on as he looks and says, "Forbid her from coming on the church's property." And the mayor defends to that, and he kind of like nods his head to look to see if you get what he means by that.
Is this the current mayor?
The previous mayor.
So he hated this rejection.
He had his men manhandle the priest, and the priest, of course, did the powers of light to protect himself. As said, village members watched in abject horror. They saw the militia and the priests come to act both magical and steel on each other. And then the mayor ordered his to defiance, started to murmur a curse, that would make people here haunted. If it was to be killed, that the gods would make the hunger teach a lesson to those who leave behind. God blesses you.
Thank you.
He to stop the priest from continuing this curse. The men tie the to the bucket and lower him out of sight of the well, so no one would be seen by his baneful eyes. Everyone he'd seen. Unfortunately, it's kind of choked up for a second. Divine will, or bad fortune, or the priest himself. They lowered him down the well. Rope broke. And after the mayor had his men take his sick church, his men found out that the priest had drowned.
Accident.
Yeah.
And almost as if the light had been extinguished. The mayor put water, came their pound of flesh. I don't know if you Southerners know, as he totally is not looking at everyone but our monster, by the way, because you totally have a northern accent. But they say that the beasts are and can find them under nets. And that only the protection of the church can keep, as the mayor, he barricade himself and his daughter in the church. And what happened that night. But the first the creatures of the dark used anyone to try to convince to open the door, even though he wasn't
on the door.
Okay.
Second night, the beasts returned for the to open the church, and the widow she saw the well of white light, and the priest's ghost rose well, and immediately banished the beasts that path. Looked at the beasts leading this pack of humans, said that the Lord of Light says you are due what you are due. And then a bolt of lightning flew from the sky and hit the widow that you saw burn. And then, hesitant the church, the beasts fled the daylight. And some of us went to inspect the church that it was. And of course, the widow said that she saw the priest's ghost cause this. Dog growled at the. But what we found was the priest's ghost kneeling at the church. It's against the stone of light, a holy protective beacon at the church. I told you those cool little something that basically it's a 10-foot consecrated space. It's totally cool and to be around. You can literally tell a vampire to suck it while you're standing next to the stone.
Those before?
Yep. North, south, you see those about every those that an easy group of people hide behind overnight. It's almost like down in the south. As the vampires control them, and that the towns brought gifts, promises, and words to the priest as he ghostly hand off the whole symbol, and tears that they still swim, even though corporeal self, and he kind of like gets choked up for a minute. And a few of us even tried to see if we could find good burial, but we couldn't find it in the well. We honestly tried because decent burial. He was just
Did
a hard
anyone-
man,
Did anyone ask him what's before his?
self included. And instead of helping him along the wood, we can save the village and how we can protect our people. And he kind of gets kind of choked up. He's like, but we should to care about our souls on a daily basis to save our fragile flesh and ignore the
Clue. It was a new experience. For all you knew, he was going to stay like that for. Do not feel guilty about.
And then on the third night, they came back in greater numbers than before. They brought wolves that we have not seen since the great black beast has most of us inside our own houses, knowing that the product they wanted was in the church still. We knew that obviously the management of the church, but we heard horrible screams as men were pieces. Just bows his head in silence. You can literally see him shiver as he's rehearing in his mind. And what we found was in the church. The base holy sacrament destroyed and spilled. The holy symbols sing.
So your church got is what it sounds like.
And I found the ghost of our priest crying at the holy stone. Morning, lied. Someone took a hammer to it, like to dozens of pieces.
Did you find the daughter's body?
Find
How
the daughter.
old was the daughter?
She was 22.
Okay.
Middle age.
So Dad got in a church.
He's probably the
Daughter-
one we missing.
Yeah, the priest was murdered, and his body has gone missing.
The priest caused the lightning, even though you see a guy with a torch remains. That blinking, you never know. And and apparently, I mean,
Yeah.
they did this after all, and he was the
Right.
first.
Okay, this is really interesting.
Got murdered.
It's a murder mystery.
Basin.
Someone said,
Sorry, I'm just confused.
How
he actually was not. He was elected because from the city. He used to be a keeper or a trap, and then he find in our town when he was scared. He was waiting for a caravan to take the south, and the caravan he was with never returned.
Huh, that's a suspicious.
So at the people gathered, and they pretty much elected him by majority.
Did he volunteer?
He did not. He was volunteer. Some say
So he's
on the night he was the most has ever seen him drink in celebration. And of course, sucks to be you when you're the vagabond in a town that doesn't hire for new jobs, and someone gives you a job.
that's also a very lucrative situation itself in. And it's, I don't know. I feel like that is a very long played.
did the disliked him in the town?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is there anyone that wasn't feeling too churchy?
as he kind of hyped for a second and thinks, he says, I'm not one idle gossip. My wife, she was the gossip one in the family. She would spend time with the washerwomen and get the town gossip and things. She told me that the was no titles into his.
Mm.
Mm.
I mean, technically doesn't do the celibacy. It's strange,
but promiscuous this time frame sounds a little looked upon.
And
I mean, think every night, is it?
even in World War on, every night maybe.
Well,
As
position of power is a little gross.
pours himself some more, kind of gives this look over to Esme. If some of the gossip is to be believed, it's more than just what I mean.
Widows.
But that's gossip.
The widowers? Are we?
We're not.
Okay.
He's implying
We're
married women.
pre-widow. Yeah, the pre.
Okay.
He's definitely an indication of married.
Wow, this town is a stud for the night. Hopefully, y'all can fix this.
If has to the gladly have left, but unfortunately, when caravans do come through here and exorbitant fees for taking people with them to the south, I don't know about you, but I've never heard back from a single person that's headed. Your face, which is familiar, as he kind of like squints in the darkness at her, and kind of hiding yourself in the shadows there. After all, one candle only makes so much light in a room.
Right.
He's basically just calling it out that he recognizes you.
South.
And I was thinking like, bad man. All right, we'll see.
We got you, robot man.
All right.
Basically, goes and put a bunch of blankets and offers and suggests armor and get a good night's rest. We don't know what will happen tomorrow.
I'm in my armor. I have a dagger on me.
You'll be exhausted though.
I'm just gonna sleep with like a dagger, like in.
Okay, the old man.
We
I'm
could
not-
sleep in shifts, guys.
Make sure you rest comfortably. He basically lets you know that this candle will be the only light. We won't light the hearth until the dawn has come up, and the true. He looks at you, waves his finger with his hand of, "Don't be fooled if you hear the morning cock. The beasts have used that trick before on us."
Okay.
How do you know the?
The cock crow affirmed that dawn is their window.
Gotcha.
So it's cutting, belling, and then another
Morning.
cock.
Cawing, and then it should be saying, "Open your doors."
So yeah, so that's what I'm at. A crow, a cawing, and then no bells. We just
Exactly.
But then okay, so there's gonna be multiple alarm clock basically.
I don't know what I was.
It's just the word cock a bunch. Jeez.
Well, cock-a-doodle doo.
This is
Cock-
Jim's episode.
I don't. I need to be still for 6 hours to get the benefit.
Need your mechanical meditation.
Esme's the only one that needs nightlight. Take the first shift and then load out after that.
As the old man just takes the chair close, he reaches his hand out of the fireplace and just like plops up on his lap, and you can tell it's a one dog night. This dog will provide enough warmth to keep you warm.
Oh, you're saying
What, you've never phrased a
You've never
three-dog
heard
night?
So you have
I've heard, and I didn't know that was actual saying.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, dude, I'm from California.
In the inner back. Sometimes it's so cold you have to have a certain number of you from freezing to death.
Huh.
Because dogs make great at saying.
Blankets and
Trick?
They live. That's why they nest. Okay, so who's taking the first watch?
good idea for me. Like,
For you to take the first watch?
yeah, so I can sit in the light, and then y'all need your fan.
I guess.
As Esme's like bogarting the single candle as it's going down.
Gotta see, guys. Gotta see.
Hey, give me a perception check. old man or the dog is farting. You're not quite sure.
Both?
I go
Could
from
be.
sentry mode.
As with your 15, about a good 2-3 hours sunset, you swear you hear side kind of like skittering on the roof. You're not sure what it is, but there's a bit of wood and skittered across the roof and then stop, and you kind of almost swear you're breathing come down the chimney. Like something is breathing down the chimney.
Okay, I'm on call or on guard.
Uh-huh.
I am still in my art, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you doing
Okay.
anything, or are you just staying quiet?
I'm to announce that I am to walk towards the fireplace with my hand on my just in case.
Very dark cabin on the hill.
Yes.
As you hear the wood kind of squeak and creak, unless you do
I will stealth check myself. Well,
Do
I'm not stealth.
I have passive perception when I'm asleep?
not
Okay.
fireplace to listen further, as you up on the roof, like listening to something, then you can't quite make a check.
Survival.
And as you step towards the fireplace, whatever was there kind of it's back, and immediately makes
I'm
this and immediately, because you totally recognize it, because it does that little raccoon little when they get scared,
Okay.
and then it kind of scampers off the roof.
Okay.
As
Well, because I was just told that darkness is still going to be truly a raccoon.
and success.
Oh, you didn't plant nothing.
As the rest of your watch pretty chill, the candle is almost when it needs to be replaced. Candles are. We'll use one candle at a time. I'm not made of honeycombs. And you pass off the watch to who?
Going next.
I can go.
To tell them about the chittery and the breathing. I'm like a raccoon, but I have no visual confirmation.
I'm assuming it's something.
Into the fireplace was.
I
That
feel like
sounds
that's the worst idea ever.
That
That
sounds
could
like
be
a
nightmare
idea,
fuel.
not an Esme idea.
That could totally be nightmare fuel right there.
The worst thing ever.
Not Esme.
Okay,
Okay,
so
do I need to roll?
you're getting your few hours, and you hear the iffy sapling sleeping, the gnome sleeping, which is slightly the old
Jesus.
snarting, because it's sharding, it's snarting. And give me your perception sides before kind of paranoidly come over the doors just to make sure that you kind of see, so they'll actually do their job. Windows, and you pretty much hear anything else.
Can you put a salt line in front of
He did not. Only the windows and doors.
Would have put a salt line in front of the. I'm just
Mhm.
You could easily have pulled some from the other places to make enough.
put as a monster hunter. And I have,
Okay.
especially if she told me, like
So you put a nice light in the fireplace there. It's bold
in
as
front
brass.
of. In,
Well, at the big opening. Yes. Beautiful white stone. With the magic Winchester would do in a hurry. And then hand off the light.
what's to
happy to
take
do
it
it.
next? Okay.
Obviously, you didn't hear nothing. What happened? Whatever.
Well, then I'm sure I'll have a peaceful watch.
You have the candle to the man who's from his point of view, he's got the perfect vision goggles, look in the room, and he's like, I don't need.
Yeah, I actually and I'll snuff it.
Ooh, as you're back in your bunk, he goes, and the room goes pitch black, and dark vision kicks on. Candle light was
Sleep.
enough to dark vision.
But,
Oh, he didn't tell you what the Tender Kit is, unless you have your own.
ooh, yeah, I guess
Isn't the fire burning though?
No, he never.
stupid wood out then.
Hey, know your friends have Tinder kits. That's
See if I have. I don't think
Spark or any cantrip?
it's been.
Do you have what type of package you?
I'm looking to see if I have. I have a Tinder box, so yeah.
Yep. So you can ideas that you're saving resource of candles. That makes totally sense with you. Night, the night is your friend. Is you're on watch. It's this impulse to want to touch the. Gotta. I want to make this dark. I wish one of my teeth.
Ew.
Pet me. Told the tiefling no.
Because you have, and your watch, you pretty much sense no danger. And thankfully, he's just calmly sitting there and every couple seconds moving his head just a little bit. Anyone would swear he's still your paranormal style night vision. The head's just barely seconds. Dogs, that's after a dog around and looks at the man accuser and then snuggles back down. Obviously, we know the dog didn't fart. The mechanic, because this is how dog fart. And you hear some rustling noise, and you hear this bell, this nice ting 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 ting. And of course, the dog's ears, kind of one ear flops up. It's one good ear, and it kind of whimpers softly and feels around in his shirt not there, and then he kind of like feels around, and obviously he's taking around like what where am I? It's like go out. And it kind of you obviously he does not have dark vision.
I feel that.
As soon as the candle flickers up and squints his eyes accustomed to the dim light, he visually takes head count. Like I didn't salt there.
Oh, I did that.
And he just kind of smiles and nods like okay. He's like unfortunately I'm hoping that I don't have any food. He man. Did you hear the bell? 3 rings of 2?
Wait, more than 2.
I said ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
He sounded really far away.
Well, remember, he is like a quarter mile away from...
I replay the bells that I heard.
And smiles and says, "You're very useful." So it is safe at him. He reaches down and grabs a cork on the plank and kind of pops out what is to you a cork, and he kind of sticks his eye up there and he starts. Through cock has sung. And he kind of like these tube opens these shutters from the inside, and he immediately, especially to those of you that have had a light this morning, is super bright, and wrings his hands, and he says, "Stay, my friends. Let me." As logs, he's got a braided he lights with the candle in place, and then a few more logs in there, obviously whether it's necessary, but he won't fire quick. And he just kind of like leans his chair close to the fire, and you just stick bones kind of pop it. He's just like, you can all move close to Archer. Enjoy the fire. At least for a few hours now that the sun is blessing us with his light. And as I said, if we're lucky, some of the widows may bring for breakfast. They have a habit of us old widowers last night. Bring some.
Aww.
And at that point, you feel the warmth that you got. Unbar the which of course you see there's a couple wild birds that come fluttering by and do the morning bird song starts, and it's as if it was a perfectly normal village. It's kind of like inhale and feel the air added with the robustness of his black root tea, which is really coffee. Rose lighting a fresh pipe full, and he just and kind of along the night and keeping his old bones. Same thing goes for Archer here. He got up all night because I fully all night.
I'm gonna tell him if that's a normal sort.
And he just kind of takes his feelings down to the floor, and this horrible creepy sound. He's like, "Did it sound like this? Or did it sound like with his fingers? That sounds like the sound you heard." Coons, hopefully.
Okay.
The old bandit come out of the forest and found something to eat and escaped before the beasts find them. There's nothing worse than seeing the woodland critters eaten by the beasts. Beasts have offspring that are no more than animals for blood and flesh. Other times I've heard stories act
Well,
Doesn't
that's
sound so bad.
Why would that be bad?
okay.
He's like, you know what they say, do what you want. All curses, in
Ah.
fact.
Yeah.
Knowing my luck, it would be long in virile body again, but it would make some cost like I could never feel for the love of my lost wife. Or he kind of makes this sad gesture and kind of looks see this little carve. It looks like a donkey. It won't work too well, quite. And he says, but just remember parts of the world. If you see a raven, luck. For the Lady of Night uses ravens to scout out the try to protect us that don't go to her head. Undead steal their souls from her. Lady of Night, the raven, not like the undead.
And she has a home or like a
Interesting.
very interesting. We have a murder mystery. Idiot.
Yeah.
We have an
And all comfortable and chill. The light is, the warmth of this hearth now cooked warm with actual decent warmth. So the cold floors and his second nap, this big yawn. You hear this abrupt knock at the door. It's not on the door, but it's on the wall. And then you slowly jump off the door. Obviously, as he kind of like snorts and kind of like gets up in an abrupt manner that's off his lap, and he says, "Hi." And he kind of goes to the door and goes 30-second ritual of unlock. Takes a holy symbol that's hanging on a nail off, and this based up, and it looks like there's a bundle that there could be a few biscuits and a few half a dozen eggs. And he kind of like greedily snatches it up with this old, and he's just like he hasn't eaten in a day. May not have.
We can let him eat them.
You totally were given extra foodstuffs too, but he wasn't going to ask. That's not how they go. As
That's how, because
he gladly
we have extra
unties
cheese
it.
and stuff.
He's just like, please. And Archer soos the dog away from the food, who kind of like keeps looking at the food like, and he's like, shh, Archer, hospitality. They'll get the guests to eat first. And he kind of, the rocking his, pipe against the hearth, the soot from the pipe across the salt line that's there. Our monster hunter loads more and takes a long stretch and lights his pipe with it. Which by Sun's aids, they took straw, peeled it out of the grass, soaked it in wax or lard, and that was actually what peasants used to match.
Oh,
Super slow. Grass for peasants. I found this out recently.
like learning.
Hmm?
Should we give him some of the food that we got loaded up with from the?
Yeah, I don't
Aw.
eat, so.
And remember, people were giving you guys food too. You
Yeah.
had this big old bag of spoils, and he's sitting there grumbling all night.
he'll only use one meal.
Let's get him.
Okay, so basically, you kind of bust open your spoils. And he's telling you that that's the widow Talan's bait makes pork them, and them in with salt. It's amazing, and of course, you're tasting these pork, really amazing. So good that the bread you got tastes even better when you.
Ooh.
And beautiful banquets of food that the locals have given you guys.
Yeah, let's let him help himself.
Yeah.
This guy's eaten the best a long time. As you see, he's got the little Buddha belly when he sits. Breathe whole. And of course, one thing every bite he took, he made sure to feed the dog a bite too.
How cute.
Says, you can the run of the village. For shelter, please. Thank you for your gifts of this meal. It's beautiful. I haven't had cooking this. Mentions a religious holiday where all the folks and feed each other. It's They have a big family style feast.
Nice.
Um,
And he's in his chair and basically falls asleep for that old man nap. We all know old man nap. It's almost like there's a tickle in your throat and gnawing thought in the back of your head. Kind of like thumbing through all the acts going on, but with day and when he opens the door, the fresh sweet forest, that the world seems a little different than when you sleep. As you feel this beautiful glow that surrounds you, because you just leveled up, suckers.
Yay!
Yay.
You guys got a long rest. You guys have leveled up and on the trials and tribulations, the sadness of Happus not making it through the wish.
Hey,
The Wiss's mount made it with you guys. Unfortunately, it's a magical mount.
But did Happus, is that what you're telling us?
Don't know. Happus Happus was leaving marks for you guys, and then all of a sudden,
Sounds like Happus. Us.
Joss is flying around with this winged, beautiful thing, and having her way with him, making tiefling baby.
Joss would love a beautiful tiefling.
If I hear the little gear and I typed in level 5, will it automatically? In the
It
character
You need to
should,
go to the Charactermancer.
but if
you
you
have
is I have more of the D&D 20 account than you probably do because I've basically bought them. And if you just open up your player's handbook and tell me what your choices are, if you want to roll for hit dice or just take the average number because you get the better average. Okay, if you just which one of those, any options you get to pick. So like if you have an extra spell at level 5, let me know what spell you're fighting when I do it. It'll basically say hurry up and suck up Charactermancer.
About that.
What's that?
All the spells, and then I can just put in ones I pick for the day.
Finally lets you pick how many spells you know, and that's
Oh.
that's it. It doesn't let all. Usually,
Well,
what
if we-
she uses, there's a really cool app that is for iTunes. I mean, for iPhone or
iTunes.
Android that spells listed by class and everything, and she uses
Mhm.
that to keep track of what spell divine casters wake up in the morning.
Okay. I get nothing.
You're a druid, you get something.
No, I
No.
get nothing.
Now remember,
I
as
don't
a
think-
spore druid, the players and druid.
Okay.
So I don't have a player's handbook. You type in druid 5e. Let's see what comes up. And if you click on the roll and Debian, both give the same. Class D10. We'll go with that one. Let's see. Level
Stick
5
to
for a
it.
druid, you go up to plus the bonus, so you're plus 3. You do not get any new features, but you do gain 2 levels. Now in the circle of
All I get is an attack. I know
And-
4 spells.
Don't
No.
do V, right?
you have a features at 4 really. It's because you have a choice. You can either take your ability, which means you get plus 2 that you can split between two abilities, or put so you can increase by 2. So you can either 2 points to increase your stats, or you can feat. And if it's your option and you want me to put that in at the time, I do feats because feats are awesome. Feats add some
don't
super
remember.
cool things and stuff.
Oh, that's wonder I'm a feet whore.
3.5 days of you need
Yeah.
to know like 10 levels in advance what you're going for, so you have the proper feats to get up.
I
So
like that.
you can eat, or you can get a feat, and feats are cool. Like, just to give you an idea, I'm going to pull up racial feats for 5e. That's not what I'm looking for now. Because gnomes have... Oh, these are correct. These are something different. I'm like, that's not D&D 5th edition. That's an older version or Pathfinder.
Do I get anything for Monster Slayer background?
New for rounds, those are what where you be pretty
Okay.
much the way they are.
Okay. So I don't need anything extra. All right, so I don't really get anything extra 10. I know one.
So you'll want to let me know what spell that is so I can add your list for you. So like squat nimbleness. Easily help fix a problem, improving a character's movement by 5 feet, strength or dex by you +1 is the feat. Which is why sometimes
pretty
feats are
good.
bad. Spending your plus some cool thing. Squat nimbleness, it lets small creatures run at full speed as archers. And you also get proficiency in acrobatics.
Oh, I don't have efficiency in one of them.
And you gain grapples.
The carpet that tried to kill me.
Here's another fun one for Critter Friend. Friend is a gnome exclusive based entirely around the interaction with animals. With this feat provides animal handling, expertise if the character already has it. So basically you get your proficiency bonus. The appeal of this feat constantly allows the character to command animals. A gnome with this feat is able to immediately speak with animals as well as animal relationship, efficiently allowing the gnome to function as an NPC. Wink, wink.
Is it all animals
nudge,
or just
nudge.
small? Oh my
It's
God,
all
I need to learn.
animals. So you may want to look for
And it-
Critter Friend feat.
And it's a spell like not a spell,
No, feat.
but it turns speak with animals.
Yeah, it basically they're able to innately cast. So basically, you can do it without casting, restrict.
Yeah, okay. So can you? You're looking at.
Okay.
So I was able I which means
Nice.
I can up to 30% on my computer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I tell you, make sure to wait at the very beginning is when all the big combat action is going to happen.
No. But again, I'm just gonna,
You
keep
can
it-
use money on your phone.
It's a pain in the
also
ass.
get-
I'll be honest with
you
you.
can
Do
also-
it right.
You could also, if you're just missing a charger, you can probably get one on Amazon for under $20.
Broke
No.
in the socket.
I'll send you guys in this chat because apparently
Absolute
picture I
nightmare
sent to
fuel.
Jim.
Yeah, it's a nightmare fuel
The part of
situation.
it is broken inside of my computer.
Yeah, the charger's nipple is computer.
Yes,
Ah.
look at Mare that is in Skype.
The equivalent of I'm going to stick it in and break it off.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Oh, the
Nope, but
glue
that's
stick
an easy
method.
acquisition.
Just take a match to it, make it super gummy, and stick it in there, and then let it harden up, and you should be able to pull it out.
Idea.
You
Especially
can
if-
try, but look how that is. That thing that'd be maybe.
Okay,
may-
should I choose magic weapon or smite?
Can you get
I like
Moonbeam?
Searing Smite. I like Searing Smite.
Searing Smite's nice, but magic weapon's good too. Turn any weapon into weapon so you can say screw you. Whereas Searing Smite's like with extra damage. Magic weapon could
How
quick
does yes.
full spells, by the way. I'm just going to there.
I feel like if you don't have a smite, you should smite use it.
Oh. And I can cast 3rd level spells now, right?
It's 2 of them per day.
I can only second level spells, so up to second level. That's why I was doing the searing smite or the magic weapon one.
Well, I get animate dead now, guys.
Creepy spore animated
Cool.
corpse.
It's actually pretty awesome. Magic weapon, maybe.
Just make sure you
Does
read
that
the
mean
spell
any-
description.
Well, yeah, I was looking at this because I was thinking the fact you non-metal spell ends, that weapon becomes a magic weapon with a +1 bonus action to roll and damage.
Ooh.
It's super nice for rangers, just saying.
And it's a bonus action too.
Yep.
So I think that's what I'm gonna choose, Jim.
Yes. You say screw you, werewolf, or screw you, vampire that's immune to.
Don't have access to cause damage is what I'm saying.
This is very true.
I didn't. I didn't know that you could turn it into a weapon.
Well, no, this basically
Early
To
makes your weapon
damage-
magic.
because to damage a
Oh,
werewolf,
okay, and magic
a magic weapon or a silver weapon.
That's
This
right.
way, I have a silver weapon. It's like
You'll have
touch.
a magic item, and that's even better.
Ooh,
Got it.
when we level up to 6, I can use my sports.
Gnome life goals. Just saying. Gnome life goals.
Butter.
All right, I got
Alrighty,
Yeah, I
guys.
got it.
early to take a dog to the vet.
Aw, oh, good.
Yeah,
My
well,
son turns 12 in 7 minutes, guys.
Oh my
Big.
goodness.
That's so sweet.
Did the blood sacrifice.
As one does.
We don't talk
Rule of blood sacrifice. Don't talk about the blood
don't
sacrifice.
talk about the blood sacrifices.
Second rule of sacrifice, don't take home leftovers.
So happy thoughts that the vet tomorrow is just normal vet of just taking the old dog and everything's fine. Need to add a second dog to the list of, oh God, please. Because it's not until next month. And
Hopefully,
Well, it's so stupid because I brought him in for the biopsy, and apparently his thing was small. It got small. It's basically right on top of his jugular vein.
which is
Oh,
horribly located.
They got to knock out to I'm so tired, guys. I'm just so freaking.
such emotional labor. Blah.
I mean, I'm happy that he has a BT inflammatory
Mhm.
because just without it, this thing, whatever the hell it is, grows. Whatever. Anyways, I love you guys. So we're gaming tomorrow.
Even the Phoenix fan timed that.
Yay!
Is there anyone other than me, or are you just?
No, I'm just Phoenix fan fusion because I'm not going.
Well, you know, your favorite person's running all y'all.
To hell with
Yay.
being a booth babe, you are the booth master.
You're the booth
Ooh.
queen.
Yeah, I don't need to be a booth babe.
You're a good
Both, I'm just saying. You can do
booth matriarch.
All right, I have to go to bed too, so
All right.
later.
all right, later, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yep. It's fun.